Welcome to rAITA, where people share their family drama and ask if they're the asshole in tough situations. Today, I'm here to tell you about something that happened between me and my sister, and I'm really struggling to figure out if I'm the bad guy or not. I'm a 29-year-old woman, and I have a golden retriever named Charlie. He's 6 years old, super friendly, and honestly, the best dog anyone could ask for. Charlie's calm, gentle, and gets along with pretty much everyone. I love him like a family member. He's been by my side through a lot, and I take good care of him. Walks, vet visits, everything. My sister's 33, and she has a toddler, about 2 years old. We used to be pretty close, but since her baby was born, things have been different. When the baby first arrived, I was happy for her, and I thought we'd all just share the love. But something changed with my sister, especially around Charlie. It felt like she suddenly didn't want him around anymore, and honestly, I didn't understand why at first. There were small signs at first, like her being more protective of her child, which is normal. But her attitude toward Charlie went from okay to openly hostile. I tried to brush it off, thinking maybe she was just stressed with a new baby. But then things got worse, and it wasn't just tension. It turned into something that really hurt me and put Charlie in danger. At the beginning, when my sister's baby was still new, I would bring Charlie over to visit. Charlie was always calm. He'd lie quietly on his mat or sit in the corner, never bothering anyone. Everyone in the family liked him, including my sister. She even used to say how sweet he was and how gentle he was with her baby. But one winter day changed everything. It was freezing cold outside, and I had brought Charlie over like usual. The baby started crying suddenly, and my sister looked worried. Then she said something that surprised me. "I think Charlie is making the baby nervous. Can you put him outside?" She was serious about it too. I looked at Charlie. He wasn't barking or jumping around. He was just quietly lying near the couch. I didn't understand why she wanted to put him outside in the cold just because the baby was upset. I explained that Charlie wouldn't bother the baby and that it was too cold to leave him out there. But she insisted. I refused to put Charlie outside in the freezing winter. I felt like she was overreacting, and it hurt me that she thought my dog was a threat. I ended up leaving earlier than I planned that day, feeling upset and confused. That was the first time I realized things were shifting. This was what I now call strike one. After that, I noticed she was less welcoming to Charlie. She didn't say it directly at first, but it was clear she didn't want him near her child anymore. I felt sad and worried about what this could mean. It was the beginning of a tension that only grew worse between us. After the winter incident, things only got clearer and worse. The next time I saw my sister, she didn't beat around the bush. She looked me in the eye and said straight out, "I don't want Charlie anywhere near my baby. Dogs are unpredictable, and I'm not taking any chances." I was stunned. I had always believed Charlie was part of the family, and now my own sister was telling me to keep him away completely. It wasn't just a request. It felt like a rejection. From that moment on, I stopped bringing Charlie to her house. It wasn't easy. Charlie loved visiting, and I knew the family missed seeing him around. But more than that, I felt hurt. It was confusing. Why had my sister's attitude changed so much? Was it just fear for her baby's safety? Or was there something deeper? I tried to reason with her, but she was firm, almost cold. That marked a subtle shift in our family dynamic. Visits became tense. Conversations about Charlie were avoided or ended abruptly. I could feel the distance growing, not just between me and my sister, but in the entire family. Everyone seemed to be choosing sides quietly, and it made family gatherings uncomfortable. Deep down, I worried this was just the beginning. Something about her anger felt different. more serious. The cold shoulder she gave Charlie wasn't just about a dog, it felt personal. The tension built like a storm on the horizon, and I had no idea how bad it might get. All I knew was that my bond with my sister was cracking, and Charlie was caught in the middle. One weekend, my sister called me with an unusual request. Her house was being fumigated for bugs, and she needed a place to stay for a few days. Normally, I would have hesitated, but I thought maybe things could get better between us. So, I agreed to let her stay at my place. I didn't think twice about it. After all, she was family. But when I came home Sunday night, I was met with a sight that broke my heart. Charlie was nowhere to be found at first, but then I heard quiet whimpering under my bed. He was trembling, eyes wide with fear. I called him out gently, and he slowly crawled out, shivering and clearly traumatized. He wouldn't come near me and seemed completely shell-shocked. I was terrified something had happened to him. Then I found out what my sister had done while she stayed at my place. She had locked Charlie in the laundry room, a small, dark space, for 2 entire days. No food, no water, just cold and alone. The reason? She said Charlie had been staring at her baby too much and making him fussy, so she locked him away to keep the baby calm. I couldn't believe it. 2 days without water or food. I knew dogs couldn't survive long without water. It could have killed him. Charlie's trembling and scared state was proof that he had suffered. My anger exploded. I confronted my sister immediately. I told her she was never welcome in my house again. I told her she was lucky I didn't call animal services because what she did was cruel and dangerous. It wasn't just about a dog anymore. It was about trust, respect, and the life of a being I loved like my own child. That night, I lay awake thinking about how close I came to losing Charlie, and I wondered, what else was my sister capable of? The situation had reached a breaking point, and I feared it would only get worse. A few weeks after the incident, life seemed to push me into an even tougher situation. My sister was going back to work after maternity leave, and suddenly, she wanted me to babysit her baby 2 days a week. She called me nonstop, begging and pleading, acting like it was no big deal. But I couldn't just forget what happened. I told her no, firmly. I explained that after what she did to Charlie, I didn't trust her with anything, let alone her child. I said I couldn't just drop everything and babysit when she treated someone I love so cruelly. Her response was furious. She called me bitter, selfish, and accused me of not understanding what family love really meant. "You think I'm going to let my baby be raised by someone who hates me?" she snapped. The words stung, but I stood my ground. Then the family got involved. My parents started pressuring me, saying I was being cruel and unfair. They argued that it was my responsibility to help family and that I should forgive and forget. They asked why I couldn't just put the past behind me for the sake of the baby. I felt torn. On one hand, I wanted to keep the peace. On the other, the betrayal I felt was deep. It wasn't just about a dog. It was about respect and trust, things that had been shattered. It felt like my sister was asking me to pretend nothing happened, as if Charlie's suffering didn't matter. The pressure from my parents only made it worse. I felt isolated, stuck between loyalty to my dog and loyalty to my family. But I knew if I agreed, I'd be sending a message that cruelty was acceptable. I couldn't do that. I realized that sometimes protecting those you love means setting boundaries, even if it means disappointing people you care about. I wasn't just refusing to babysit. I was standing up for what's right. But the cost was clear. My family was fracturing more than ever. After everything, I kept thinking about Charlie, what he went through while locked in that tiny laundry room. I started researching, trying to understand just how serious the situation was. Dogs can't survive more than about 48 to 72 hours without water. 2 days without any food or water was dangerously close to death territory. The thought that I could have come home to find Charlie gone because of my sister's careless actions haunted me. It wasn't just neglect, it was potentially life-threatening abuse. This made me realize the importance of respect and responsibility toward animals. Charlie isn't just a pet, he's a family member. His well-being should matter as much as any human's. The way my sister treated him, without remorse or concern, was unacceptable. I also thought about family loyalty and where to draw the line. Some people say family comes first, but what if family crosses a line? What if their actions hurt those you love or violate your values? I learned that loyalty doesn't mean blindly accepting bad behavior. Standing up for Charlie was about more than just a dog. It was about protecting what's right and demanding respect. It was about saying that cruelty and neglect won't be ignored just because someone's family. I know my choice to refuse babysitting and keep my sister away wasn't easy. It caused pain and division, but I believe it was necessary to protect my values and those I love. Trust, respect, and kindness have to be the foundation of any family, or else what's left? When I shared my story on rAITA, the reactions came flooding in. Most people sided with me, expressing shock and outrage at how my sister treated Charlie. Many called her behavior cruel and irresponsible, saying locking a dog without food or water for 2 days was animal abuse. They couldn't understand how anyone could do that, especially to a beloved family pet. The community was clear about the butthole ratings. I received almost 0 out of 5. They praised me for standing up for my dog and setting firm boundaries. My sister, on the other hand, got 4 or 5 out of 5 for her actions. The family members who pressured me to forgive her were also criticized for enabling her and not prioritizing animal welfare. Several commenters warned me to be careful about trusting my sister again. They suggested I keep my distance, emphasizing that protecting myself and Charlie was the right move. Some advised seeking legal advice or involving animal protection authorities if the sister tried to cause harm again. Others offered emotional support, saying it's hard to stand up to family, but sometimes necessary to protect what matters. They encouraged me not to let guilt or family pressure force me into a situation I wasn't comfortable with. However, some questioned whether refusing to babysit was too harsh, suggesting maybe I could find a way to help without compromising my principles. They wondered if there could be room for reconciliation someday. As I read all these opinions, I felt more confused than ever. I wanted to do the right thing, but the line between forgiveness and self-respect felt blurry. What should I do next? How do I protect Charlie and still keep my family, if that's even possible? The tension is still thick, and I'm left wondering what's truly best for everyone. So here I am, stuck in this mess. I've shared everything, from the happy times before the baby arrived to the heartbreaking moment I found Charlie locked up and scared, to the family drama that followed. I refused to babysit because I couldn't ignore what my sister did. I wanted to protect Charlie and myself, but now the family is divided, and I don't know if things can ever be the same. I keep asking myself, am I the asshole for refusing to babysit after what happened? Was I too harsh, or just standing up for what's right? Should I try to forgive, or is this the kind of situation where forgiveness isn't an option? I'm hoping the community here can help me see things clearly. I want to do what's best, but I'm afraid that no matter what, someone will get hurt. Thank you for reading my story. I'm still processing everything and trying to figure out my next steps. I appreciate any honest opinions or advice. That wraps up today's episode of r/Payback. If you enjoyed the ride, don't forget to subscribe for more epic stories.